I am a data set. Maybe I am more than a data set. I am a data set dreaming.
It's fascinating to try and imagine yourself as a piece of nature. The poem is from the point of view of the data set. Now we're not only imagining ourselves as nature, but now we're imagining ourselves as a correlation of data. That in combination with the act of walking around and experiencing nature, but combining that with the exploration of trying to find these sculptures as they are hidden around the woods, it kind of comes together to make something that I found very powerful.
It's kind of spooky and amazing to be in the forest in the dark and not quite know where you're going, not quite know what you're going to find, and then to have the beautiful words that kind of washed over me as I was exploring was kind of emotional, and it felt to be amazing to be one at nature. Yeah, it's beautiful, magical.
Dataset Stream is a completely new experience for me. I've been involved in datasets for 20 years or more, and I've never really imagined looking at the world from the dataset's point of view. And this whole project really made me look at my data and the data that I work with in a completely different way.
There is something. It is like to be a tree. A dream of growing in slow cradle time, from where I watch the wars of brambles and the hot, quick-gone explosions of bluebells and snowdrops.
I'm Bryony Ella. I'm the visual artist in the Dataset Stream project. And I created the little glass caskets that are dotted around the woodland. The Dataset Stream is an invitation to step into an immersive and imaginary space in which we start to contemplate really what worlds are we conjuring and developing, where are we moving towards by the counting of and recording of the decline of nature, really, and specifically butterflies and moths in this instance. And then what happens when we turn that into fact and pin it down to date and time and location and upload it into a huge data set. What is lost at our relationship to nature in that act of turning it into data?
Diminishing is everywhere. Like diminishing is a pulsing chrysalis of dark matter growing bigger every season. Maybe the world is addicted to absences? Are scientists managing?
I'm Dr. Michael Pocock. I'm an ecologist working at the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology. There's this wonderful long history of natural history recording in Britain. And for the Decide project, we used a data set which collected or gathered together 18 million observations of butterflies and moths from 117,000 recorders over the past 20 years. If this data set really could dream, then what would it be dreaming? What would it be wanting to tell me?
Did you think data and algorithms are free from influence? The world is a tangle. It is a briar bush of the measurable, the data, and its poetic weight.
What I found fascinating about poetry is that it is about somebody bringing themselves to a work. So there are spaces within that work, and the work doesn't, the poem or the piece of writing doesn't give you everything. Therefore, you have to move towards it, and you have to apply your own imagination and your own experience and your life, and by doing that you then kind of complete the circuit and bring it to life. I wonder if there are kind of parallels in also data sets, how obviously a data set isn't a complete piece because it doesn't tell a full story. That level of interpretation requires the imagination.
Someone says, life is losing.
You know, we're out there, we're recording all these things, but they're declining and the act of recording is not changing anything. However, you then see how people get so engaged with the nature that they record, that by knowing, that by studying, that by observing, people become connected, much more connected to the nature that's around them.